Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The night air is thick with the scent of betrayal as I fumble with the keys outside my front door. It's later than usual. Traffic was a nightmare, and the last meeting dragged on forever. All I want is a quiet evening, maybe some leftover pizza and a cold beer, but the moment I step inside, the atmosphere strikes me as off. The house is too silent, the kind of oppressive quiet that screams something is amiss. Walking into the living room, I pause, my heart races. A muffled sound echoes from upstairs, a rhythm that's not right, a cadence that chills my blood. My steps on the stairs are silent, a ghost moving through my own life. As I reach the landing, the sound sharpens, leather on skin, a stifled whimper. My hand grips the banister, knuckles white. The door to our bedroom is ajar, light spills out, casting shadows that dance in the dim hallway. I push the door, the scene unfolding before me like a grotesque tableau. There, in the flickering light of our bedroom, is my wife, bare and exposed, her skin flushed, and there, a man, almost naked save for a black leather balaclava, wielding a whip that cuts through the air and against her. Rage ignites within me, a primal scream tears from my throat as I charge forward. The man turns, startled by my presence, the balaclava masking any hint of his identity. His eyes, visible through the cutouts, widen in. He swings the whip defensively, but I catch it, yanking him toward me. We struggle, the whip tight between us. His breath, hot and panicked, brushes my face. "You!" I roar, my voice filled with fury and disgust. "Get out!" He breaks free with a desperate shove, scrambling towards the window. It's surreal watching him flee, his figure a dark blur against the night as he jumps out and disappears into the darkness below. The window slams shut behind him, leaving behind only the echo of his escape and the sharp, cold air that cuts through the room. My wife, her eyes wide and tearful, stares at me from the floor, her body trembling. I can barely look at her, my heart torn between hurt and hatred. "Get up," I manage to say, my voice cold and detached. "Pack your things and get out." But she starts, her voice a mix of confusion and fear. "No, I can't even look at you right now," I snap, turning away from her. I can't bear the sight, the betrayal too deep, too raw. She moves slowly, still in shock, gathering her things while I stand in the hallway, the sound of drawers opening and closing like gunshots in the quiet house. When she's done, she stands at the door, suitcase in hand, a sob caught in her throat. "Please, can we talk about—" "There's nothing to discuss," I say, cutting her off, my voice steady despite the chaos raging inside me. "You need to leave." "Now?" She leaves, her departure a quiet echo down the stairs. The door clicks shut, and silence envelops me once more. Alone, the house feels alien, a shell of the home it used to be. I slump against the wall, my mind racing, humiliation, anger, hurt. It all mixes into a toxic cocktail that numbs my senses. But beneath it all, a resolve begins to form, cold and hard. She has shattered our vows, and something within me vows revenge, a slow, calculated revenge that will match the pain I feel tonight. The night stretches out, a canvas of shadows and whispers. My plan begins to take shape, each detail a stroke of dark intent. I will not let this go. I will not be made a fool. The game has just begun, and the morning after is gray and grim. The sunlight, usually bright and welcoming, now feels like an intrusion, illuminating the chaos of last night's betrayal. I stand in the empty kitchen, coffee cup untouched, my thoughts racing faster than my heart. Revenge is a complex beast, and if I am to tame it, I need allies, resources, information. I grab my phone and scroll through my contacts, stopping at Dan Private Investigator. A friend from my college days turned professional snooper. I hesitate, then press call. The line rings twice before he picks up. "Hey, it's been a while." Dan's voice crackles through the speaker, casual, unaware of the storm brewing on my end. "Dan, I need your help," I say, cutting to the chase. "It's serious." There's a pause, the shift in tone palpable even through the phone. "What's going on?" I lay it out for him, raw and unfiltered. The discovery, the confrontation, the escape. By the time I finish, the silence on the other end feels heavy. All right, I'm in. What do you need? I want to know who he is, I state firmly. The man with the whip? Got it. Anything else? Everything you can find on her too, where she's staying, what she's doing, who she's meeting. Consider it done. I'll start digging and keep you updated. We hang up and I feel the first thread of control weaving back into my grasp. But Dan is just the beginning. I need more than just information. I need leverage. My next call is to Maya, a friend who works in tech and dabbles in less than ethical sides of digital prowess. She picks up on the first ring, her voice bright and curious. Hey, long time. To what do I owe the pleasure? Mia, I need a favor. It's sensitive. Her tone shifts, a hint of intrigue lacing her words. Go on. I explain the situation briefly, less detail than I gave Dan, but enough. I need access to his digital life, emails, texts, anything that can tell me who he is and what he's planning. There's a brief pause, a digital breath. You know this isn't exactly legal. I know, but I'm out of legal options. All right, send me whatever you have on him, photos, anything. I'll see what I can do. I thank her and end the call, feeling the web of my plan expand. Information is power, and power is what I need to navigate the treacherous path ahead. As the day wears on, I make more calls, reconnect with old allies, and forge new connections. Each conversation adds a layer to my strategy, each promise of help a stone in the fortress I'm building. By evening, my phone buzzes, a message from Dan with a file attached. Gotta hit it on your mystery, man. It reads. Heart pounding, I open the file. Photos, a name, addresses, pieces of a puzzle I am desperate to solve. I sit back, my eyes scanning the information voraciously. This is just the beginning, the first move in a game of chess that promises to be as dark as it is dangerous. I am ready. The hunt has just begun, and I am nowhere near ready to forgive or forget. The shadows gather around me, but this time, I am the one calling them. The clock ticks past midnight as I pore over the information Dan sent. The man, now no longer a faceless intruder in my personal nightmare, has a name, Rick. His records paint the picture of a seemingly average guy, an accountant with a penchant for martial arts and, evidently, clandestine affairs. My computer screen glows in the dark, each piece of data a step deeper into the rabbit hole. I'm interrupted by a knock at my door, unexpected and untimely. Cautiously, I open it to find Mia, standing there, her expression grave, a laptop bag slung over her shoulder. I got something. Thought it was better to show you in person, she says, brushing past me into the living room. What is it? I ask, closing the door and following her. She sets up her laptop, her fingers flying over the keys. The screen fills with emails and messages, trails of digital breadcrumbs that Rick tried to hide. He's been careful, but not careful enough. Look at this. She points to a series of encrypted messages that she's managed to crack. The messages are a mix of mundane and disturbing, a blend of day-to-day life and subtle hints at his darker pursuits. It's clear he's done this before, the thrill of secrecy woven through his words. Is there anything on her? I ask, my voice tense. Mia nods, opening another document. It's a detailed itinerary of my wife's movements since she left, likely gleaned from her phone or credit card data. She's staying at a hotel downtown, been there since she left your place. A plan begins to form, the pieces coming together in a mosaic of retribution. Mia, can you get into the hotel's security system? She gives me a look that's both wary and impressed. I can try. What's the play? I need to see who she meets. If he goes there, I need to know everything. Mia's eyes narrow, but she nods, understanding the stakes. Give me a few hours. As Maya works, I step into the night air, letting the cool breeze clear my head. The city is quiet, the hum of the nightlife a distant echo. I'm alone out here, but not in my quest. My phone vibrates, a message from, found something interesting, call me. I dial immediately, and Dan's voice is low when he answers. Rick's into some risky business, not just affairs. He's got debts, gambling ones, big amounts. Might be why he's laying low. Can we use this? I ask, my mind racing through scenarios. Possibly. If we pressure the right points, maybe he'll come out of hiding. Good, keep on it, and Dan thinks. We're in this to the end, buddy. The call ends, and I stand there under the vast, starless sky, feeling the weight of the night press against me. My phone beeps again, another message from me. Got access, you won't believe what I'm seeing. I rush back inside, my heart pounding in anticipation. Maya turns her laptop towards me, a live feed from the hotel's security cameras on screen. There, in grainy black and white, is my wife, her face tense as she meets with a man in the lobby. It's not Rick. Who is that? I murmur, squinting at the screen. No idea, but I'm recording this, might be useful. The plot thickens, another player enters the game. I feel the edges of my world shift, the lines between ally and enemy blur. But my resolve hardens. This is more than just revenge now. It's a quest for truth, for justice. And I am far from done. The days blur into a relentless pursuit of truth. With Mia's help, I've been watching the hotel footage religiously, cataloging every visitor, every shadow that crosses my wife's path. The mysterious man from the lobby reappears frequently, each visit deepening the puzzle rather than solving it. Tonight, as the city sleeps, I decide it's time for a more direct approach. I don my darkest clothes and drive to the hotel, parking a block away to avoid suspicion. The air is crisp, the moon a thin crescent in the sky. My heart pounds with a mix of fear and adrenaline as I approach the back entrance, a key card courtesy of Mia's less-than-legal talents. In hand, slipping inside, I make my way to her floor, my steps silent on the plush carpet. I reach her door, pausing to listen. Laughter, low and intimate, filters through the wood. I press the card to the lock, and with a soft click, the scene inside halts me at the threshold. My wife and the mysterious man, sitting close, but their posture is not one of lovers. Instead, they are hunched over a sprawl of documents and photos. I can't keep doing this, she's saying, her voice strained. It's not safe anymore. I step into the room, my presence shocking them into silence. What's going on? My voice cuts through the tension, demanding, desperate for truth. My wife stands, her face a mixture of shock and relief. You weren't supposed to find out like this. She begins, her voice trembling. This, she gestures to the papers, isn't what it looks like. The man rises, offering his hand, which I don't take. I'm Michael, her brother, he says, and the simplicity of the statement stuns me into silence. Brother, I echo, my confusion mounting. Yes, my wife says. I couldn't tell you before. It was too dangerous. Michael was undercover, and we've been working to expose a corruption ring that Rick was involved in. It's bigger than just an affair or gambling debts. Michael nods, stepping forward. Rick used his position to blackmail and manipulate. When we learned he was targeting my sister, we had to. My mind reels, every piece of the puzzle rearranging itself into a picture so different from what I had imagined. So, the affair? Staged, she admits, her eyes pleading for understanding, to get close, to gain his trust. I hated every moment, but we needed evidence. And tonight, I ask, the weight of my misconceptions heavy on my shoulders? Tonight, we were planning our final movie, Michael explains. We have enough to take to the police to stop him for good. The anger and betrayal I'd nursed transforms into something else, something mingled with admiration and shame. My wife, seeing my internal struggle, I'm so sorry I couldn't tell you, she whispers, her hand tentative on my arm. I wanted to protect. I nod, the tightness in my chest loosening. What do you need from me? Asked support, a few more days, she says. Then it's over. We spend the next hours discussing their plan, refining details. When I leave the hotel, the dawn is breaking, the first light washing over the city like absolution. The next few days pass in a blur of activity. When the arrests finally come, Rick included, it's anticlimactic, the real drama having unfolded in the shadows. Months later, as my wife and I sit in the quiet of our restored home, a news report plays on the television, detailing the crackdown on corruption, hinting at the anonymous tips that led to the breakthroughs. My wife squeezes my hand, a silent acknowledgement of our unspoken bond, strengthened through the trial. As the screen flickers with images of justice served, I realize the truth is often stranger and more intricate than fiction. And sometimes, trust must be blind to lead you through the darkness.